Hello everyone and welcome back to my growing LEGO addiction. Today we've got the LEGO Friends Organic Farm Set for 1721 with 826 pieces. Now, I would say that this is an interesting pickup for me, but at $70, well, I have a problem. But I do think that this is quite a lovely set for what you get with. Now, I do feel like I should mention that I'm absolutely terrified by the minifigures included because they are the doll-like Friends figures, although I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that they're designed. I do think we also get some interesting hair pieces in this set, and also there's some interesting stuff to get into. So let's just jump into it with the box art also being quite lovely with some animals and just overall niceness. So let's get started. Now, something that I have to say is the diverse cast of characters. From Bianca, you get Mia, you get Marcel, and you get River, and it's a good selection of minifigures, I'd have to say, because you get a lot of interesting hair pieces, some of which we don't typically see, and also a bit of just characterization with a bit of unique outfits and a bunch of fun goodness. Now, I'm not going to stay too long on the minifigures because, well, you can sit them down like you would a regular figure and you can switch out their heads if you want. So if you want someone else to be a balding middle-aged man, you can go ahead and do that. You can also switch over to this lovely cowboy hat and red hair here, which can be switched out for the riding helmet. So a lot of good stuff with these figures. However, I'm not too much of an expert. Now, I think that the sticker usage in this set is actually quite nice, considering we get, for starters, two of these signs, one for selling your eggs and your jams, and one for selling your apples. And I think these, although small little aspects, are actually quite nice to get included in a set like this. There's also this lovely picnic table here with a little bit of a dinner so that you can have a bunch of fun stuff. They can also fit relatively nicely if I don't pull their hair out. You just gotta go ahead and tuck them in, and you can go ahead and place them in if they don't kick each other out, which is why you want to kind of realistically limit how many people you put there, but you can put them in and they will stay there, so you don't need the clips there to kind of keep them in, which I think is a nice touch, and it means that your bench, when it's not being used, looks a lot sleeker than it would if you were using regular minifigures, which I think is a nice touch. Next up is the shop here, which has a little bit of a just uninteresting roof, but I think the real draw here is the fact that you do have yourself a shop, which fits nicely with the minifigures. If I go ahead and grab old Marcel here, he can go ahead, stand behind there, stare at the jams, and also this lovely printed strawberry piece, which I think is a nice inclusion, very useful in a lot of different situations, not just as a gem cap. We also get this lovely chicken here sitting inside of this chicken coop with a butterfly on top. It's unfortunate that it doesn't have more printing, however, it's still very nice. Now, if I turn it to the back and we pull down this little hatch, we can go ahead and drop out the eggs. However, I don't want to be looking for eggs for the next half hour, so I'm not going to display the play feature, but I think it's a very nice inclusion to have there, considering it looks nice on this side, and if you want to bring it closer, you can obviously just tilt the back, get some eggs, bring them back out to your shop. We do also get this electric tractor here, which does come with this furry little friend, which is very adorable and beautiful. But the tractor itself uses a nice culmination of purples and pinks, which I think is a very nice inclusion, which lends itself well to the white. We also get ourselves two crates, one of which is for these little berries, probably cherries and grapes, and then also for some more produce with a pitchfork at the back for tending on the fields. As far as trees go, you can't go wrong with this neat little apple tree. It is a bit small, but I think it does fit in well with the set. Comes with the other butterfly and has a ladybug printed at the bottom with a few flowers. It's nothing too special, but I feel like in culmination, the fact that we do have this basket for selling does lend itself nicely to kind of this more plastic-like and playful design. It's nothing too crazy, but I think at a glance from a distance, you can tell that it looks well enough to still give off the aspect of a nice little apple tree, but also isn't too overbearing to the fact where if you try to pull one of the apples out, you're just going to destroy the whole thing. And finally, we have this ladder. Nothing too special, especially since if you want to have someone hold on to the ladder, they need to be clipped on from the side, and, well, it's not the best when you're trying to climb a ladder sideways. So that's the only issue that I have with this ladder, considering we're using the Friends minifigures, not regular minifigures. But aside from that, I think it's a nice looking ladder as ladders go. I don't think there's much to really point about. It's a ladder. We also do get a horse, which I think from this angle looks lovely. From this angle, you run into a bit of an issue. But aside from the fact, well, some known issues, you can easily put a minifigure in here. They will not be able to sit, but you can have them semi-sit, or you can just have them stand. It works fine if I go ahead and bring in the nice little mounting piece. It can be flipped over and bent a little bit over the horse to get it into this position of riding, or you can flip it around the other way so that you can pull it by the side. Again, it's a bit of an interesting choice considering the Friends minifigure arms can only move down and not really to the side, so it's interesting that this would be used here, but I mean, it works decently enough. It's not the worst thing to have. The horse also has a few clips around to kind of put some accessories on. None come in this set, of course, but if you do have some extra accessories, like some party hats or whatnot, you can put them on this horse. The main house itself actually does look quite nice using these nice patchworking techniques. The other unfortunate side is the fact that this top section is a bit open, which means that it's more accessible to play, which is a good thing. However, for display, it's not going to be the nicest thing ever. The inside is quite spacious, especially in the barn area, so you can fit the horse in quite nicely, even if there's a minifigure on it, and have it either eat from some of this hay or just drink some of its water. There's also some equipment on this side, given that sticker piece, which I think is extra nice. There's also this box, which is, well, if my hand wasn't in the way, just a simple regular box, nothing too special. And you've got some stairs with some nice, actually, bluish windows, which look very nice here. But we are going to start off up at the top with this sticker piece that leads you into the door, and then a nice welcome mat with a fireplace and a bed, which has a little bit of patchworking here. Nothing towards the back of the bed, but you could use it as some extra storage. Downstairs, obviously, the barn, we've already covered it, but, you know, it's a bit spacious and nice. You've got the doors which can open. The back here has a kitchen with a bunch of supplies, first aid kit. You've got an oven with a cupcake inside. You've got some eggs being fried up and some stew being cooked up. You do have this bench which can be moved, as demonstrated there, with a cake and a pie, which the pie is a nice inclusion, and then also a little bit of a cat space for your cat with a food and water bowl. It's fine, it's nice, it works. On the outside, you have a bit of a water pail with some tools and a little bit of open space with this nice little stream of fairy lights written out in gems. Now, this is a bit interesting technique for the plants, and I do very much like it, with some windows that can be drawn open so that you can have a bit of light enter into the upstairs area, with a bit of a hook which can be used easily enough to kind of bring in supplies, either upstairs as like a delivery service or just to crane up some stuff for temporary storage. Now, I think some interesting notions that I can bring to this set is that you definitely get a good amount of interior space. For your minifigures, you can definitely fit everybody. It's quite strange that there is a singular bedroom only, so you're going to have to definitely take shifts. You're going to have 3 people on watch, 1 person sleeping, unless you want to sleep in the barn, of course. I mean, there is some stacks of hay there, but all in all, I think you do get functionality. I think some of the stuff looks a bit plain, but it does add a little bit of kind of that farm life charm where not everything is as pristine, but is still well managed. Not to say that anything in a farm is bad. I've been to many farms, I've lived on a farm, so they're actually quite nice. I don't have any complaints about a farm, so I think this kind of characterizes the fact of well-managed space is definitely something that I have to say. You've got a lot packed into each room with still a lot of space for minifigures, so there's definitely a lot going right with this set, and unlike some of my other reviews, I'm not going to tack on this for another 5 hours. I hope you enjoyed. It's a very nice set, so if you're in the market for it, I think there's definitely a place. I should note that I've picked this one up at a discount, so I might be heavily biased a bit, considering I did get some great savings, but I do think that aesthetically it's got some interesting color pieces that have been added to it because it's a friend set, and I think that's actually a great thing because typically these buildings would normally be a bit more bland using this kind of color palette, but this pink really shines out. You've got a little bit of purple. It just comes together fantastically, and honestly, it's a pretty good pickup to get, and realistically, I wasn't sure going into it that I would actually enjoy it this much, but I think I've genuinely had a good time with it. So, hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.